Right, so that gets all the people who didn't watch my first 20 videos. You swines. Yeah, that was the theme music on the first 20 or so, and then I changed it. So you didn't watch any of them, did you? Right, so have we got drams? I think we're going around it, yeah? Everybody locked, cocked, ready to rock? Yeah, excellent. Right, so dram number 365, and this would have been the last one if I hadn't picked to do it on a leap year, like an idiot. I know, get an extra one in, yes. Am I live? I hope so. Yeah. Yeah, you've just lost connection. I'm still live. Everybody on Facebook and YouTube, I've just left it recording. So for the last half hour, they've just seen nothing. I better not check the comments. Are you doing anything? Well, not Ben. Right, okay, so 365. Yeah, I timed it brilliantly. I decided to do it on leap year, and literally 2 weeks after I said I'm going to do this challenge for a year, they reduced the government regulations for drinking alcohol down to 14 units a week. Oh crap! I can't even drink that much beer now. Rubbish. So, Laphroaig 10. So the sample I have is a donation from Andrew A.P. Butler, not Andrew P. Butler, as I called him for about 3 weeks on the trot, who's in the room, sat over there. Andrew, thank you very much for this. This is definitely the last one. Andrew is the gentleman who, I'm sure, in total, it's 57 samples he sent, which is just mind-blowing. It really is absolutely amazing. So yes, if you know where he lives, you know where to go. He's got some amazing whiskies in there, and he's also donated some stuff to the auction as well. The high-grade Laphroaig he donated, the Johnny Drum bourbon, and the Grey Parrot. In fact, I'll talk about the Grey Parrot now because that's quite a special bottling. I keep saying if you watch my videos, like none of you have watched any of them. I talk quite a lot about the Pattison brothers. Is it Pattison or Pattinson? Pattison brothers, Patisserie brothers, they were French, who basically caused a whiskey crisis by being too big for their boots, spending lots of money, all on credit, and then being responsible for the credit wanted to come back. They went bankrupt, and a load of distilleries, if they didn't go bust, very nearly went bust. And they were very big on advertising and doing stunts and marketing and everything like this. One of the marketing tricks that they did was, was it a case of they actually, if you bought a bottle of their whiskey, you get a Grey Parrot with it? Or was that an advert? Or?
Pubs that stocked cases of their whiskey.
Right.
There were 50 of them got
a parrot. Okay, so if for people not in the room, pubs that bought cases of Pattinson's whiskey, if you bought enough, you get a parrot, as you do. So what Andrew's done is he's got in touch with Master Vermont, not the Whiskey Exchange. Don't think Ollie heard that, so we're all right. And they, he's fine, whatever. They've done a recreation of what the Pattinson's whiskey was like, and is it Glen Farkas in it, and some other bits and pieces. There are 3, I believe, in existence of this, of which 1 is on the auction. So well worth getting, because there's only 3, and I think Andrew's got 1. Where's the other one? In a vault.
I've got 1 that's open, 1 is
Okay, yeah. So there's 2 in existence because 1 of them's open. So well worth putting into that. So Andrew, thank you very much for that as well. So Laphroaig, I did a presentation on PowerPoint. This is 1 slide. This is the other one, and that's it. I didn't put a picture of the bottle up, I ran out of time. This was at midnight last night. Oh, can I have one of the bottles? Because they need to know what it looks like. So, Laphroaig, which is on the south coast. Laphroaig, Lagavulin, Ardbeg. Lagavulin I did at number 10, so a long time ago. Those 3 distilleries are known as the Kildown distilleries. Thank you, Irish assistant. The Kildown distilleries, I had no idea why it was called the Kildown distilleries. There's Monument, Kildown Cross, which these distilleries are on the road to. I found that out about an hour ago. So, I'm not a whiskey expert, as you can probably tell. So, the official start, and it does actually say on the label, established 1815, which was by Alexander and Donald Johnson, not Thompson, I can't read my own handwriting, but it's believed that he was actually operating for a good few years before that, from about 1810 onwards. The licence was granted in 1826, and then in 1847, Donald unfortunately died because he fell in a big pot, big still pot ale. Not a great, well, kind of a great way to go, but not a great way to go as well. Donald had a son called Dugald, as you do. So his great-grandson, Donald's great-grandson, was a guy called Ian Hunter, and he was really a guy that kind of got Laphroaig off the ground and really going. And by the 1920s, although a lot of malt whisky distilleries being used in blends, they were really pushed as a single malt. And when he died in 1954, he left, because he didn't have any family to leave the distillery to, so he left it to his secretary, who was a woman called Bessie Williamson, and she was the first female owner of a distillery on Islay. And she did a really good job. She retired in 1972, but was really, really highly regarded, and did a cracking job in keeping the distillery going and keeping it a success. A US distillery called Shenley bought it in 67. She retired in 72. There were a few acquisitions sort of back and forth, which eventually got it into Jim Beam's hands, who bought it from Allied Distillers in 2005. And then Jim Beam themselves were bought by Suntory, who also own the malt. So we now have a Japanese company who owns 2 distilleries on Islay. They have their own malting floors. If you've watched some of the other island distilleries, Port Ellen is quite a big supplier of the peated malt, particularly for the island distilleries. Laphroaig have their own malting floor still. It supplies about 20% of the malt barley that they need. And they use, thanks to Joe for pointing this out, because I've kind of forgotten, that they use wet peat rather than dry peat. So it's not quite compost, but it's kind of it's kind of leafy peat that they use to smoke and dry the barley, and it creates a quite distinctive character that makes it quite distinct from everything else. It's less dry. It's more almost, vegetal's the wrong word, but it's got more of a kind of earthy, greenery character to it. So if everybody's glasses are charged, so this is the standard 10-year-old. How much is the Whiskey Exchange selling it for? So it's so helpful, this building. Ollie, how much is the Whiskey Exchange selling it for? Okay, fine, right, okay. Whatever the Whiskey Exchange is selling it for, Marshall Moore probably selling it cheaper.
Normally it's about 2p cheaper for delivery.
Okay, fine, fair enough. I'm going to go with 42. Searching. Get my 25 mils going.
38.45.
38.45. Is that on special offer down from 42?
That's not standard.
Oh, okay. Okay. Nearly. 38.45 then. So the same price as the classic Latin. So Laphroaig, mainly bourbon casks, stretching back from sort of the Prohibition days when they used to acquire bourbon casks to mature the whiskey, but they do use some sherry casks. It's quart cask, sherry cask. That's it. I know it's all the cask, but was that a sherry cask user? Okay, I'm talking rubbish. Ignore me. No, don't ignore me. So we're getting into the really heavy peated stuff. Ardbeg, I think, is scientifically peatier than Laphroaig, but it's a very close thing because it's kind of taste as well. Oof. Does anybody not like peated whiskey? Like, really not like it? Yeah. You're not going to be a fan. Have you tried it? Could you get past the nose?
£25 at Asda.
£25 at Asda? Blimey, get yourself to Asda. Yeah. The staff of the Whiskey Exchange are going to Asda tomorrow. Brilliant. It could be worse. It's probably what, 60 quid at the whiskey shop. I can say that. I used to work for them. They were such a rip-off. Did I say that now? So, yes, there is a kind of vegetal's not right, but it is like a wet smokiness. Just sounds wrong, really wrong. But it's definitely, it's not dry by any stretch of the imagination. But it's not as full on as I thought it was going to be. It's 40%, and I think that might be why. Was anybody expecting this to be like really, really full on palate? Or is it just me? Crap, it's just me, isn't it? Oh well. It's definitely there, and it's definitely lingering, but it's not as full on in your face as I thought it was going to be. There's a kind of sweet barbecue element to it as well. I don't think Joe likes it. I'm just, no, she's not feeling it. Excuse me. Right, anybody, come on, help me out here. Anybody getting anything from this tasting notes wise? Oily. Oily, yes. Mum said plimsolls. Black plimsolls. Oh yes, the black rubber plimsolls, yes. Tyres? But not brand new plimsolls, ones that have been worn in a bit and they're a little bit sweaty. Yeah? Yum. What's a lovely tasting note that sound. Grilled mackerel, I like it. Come on, we can get poncier than plimsolls and grilled mackerel. Let's really. Pardon? Blue cheese mould, yes. Oh yes, that'd be why I like it. So, who likes blue cheese but doesn't like peated whiskey? Or are the two intertwined? You're the other way around. You don't like peated whiskey, but you like blue cheese. The other way around to that. Right, okay. Okay. I thought it might be Dad. Dad does like blue cheese. I know you like blue cheese, but you don't like peated whiskey. Okay, fair enough. I thought it might be because it's a similar taste. So, I like this a lot, but I like peated whiskey, so I am biased anyway. Okay, hands up who would buy the Laphroaig Classic instead of this, considering it's the same price? Yeah. Well, okay, and who would go for the Laphroaig? Oh, hands down winners. Okay, interesting. I think the Islay is there. You need to find the Islay price out before we get going. Okay, so $365 is down. We are done. Hang on. It's not over yet. Podcast. But no, I should answer this, and I won't give you a chance to respond. I didn't do quartercast because, as you well know, when I said I was going to start doing the challenge, my aim was to do the core release from each distillery and/or brand. So that was why, when you said I could send you some samples, I was like, brilliant, mate. And you sent me all sorts of random SHIT. To which I had to go back and go, Ollie, thanks, mate, but as I said on my original one, I'm trying to do the core. And I've got the 10-year-olds the core. I'd love to do the quartercast because I absolutely love it. And it is better than this, to be perfectly honest. But my challenge was to do the standard bottlings. But, what? Can you have samples back? No? Oh yeah, if you do want your samples back, there's a lady over there who I've only met for the first time tonight, who's got most of them. And she might have drunk them all. Yes, sorry Jason, what was that? What whiskies am I doing next year? Everything. Yes, all the leftovers of Ollie's that didn't actually count towards the challenge. Right, 376 is done. 76, Jesus. Yeah, I might have had a few beforehand. Well, I've settled the nerves, you know. 365 is done. Yay! Right, we're there. We have our auction in a bit, so I'm going to crack on with the last one. But Rebecca apparently wants to say a few words. She does. Do you want this?
No.
Well, what about the people here? Oh, come here and stand there. Because there's people online here. There's millions of people online. There's about 10. Half of them in this room. Joe, you're in the room. Why are you watching our Facebook?
There's like a lot of people watching on Facebook.
I know, what are you doing? Why are you here? Right.
Just wanted to, first of all, thank everyone for coming, because all of your money, all your donations is going to a very, very great cause. It's the Children's Heart Surgery Fund. And I'm just going to tell you just a tiny bit about it before he breaks me. The Children's Heart Surgery Fund supports the Leeds Pediatric Cardiac Unit. Sorry if I go a bit teary because this is close to my heart. Where my son was born. He was born, well, I found out on my 20-week scan that he had multiple heart problems. And he was born in Leeds, and 5 days later he had a open heart surgery. And it lasted 6 hours, which is by far the shortest one that he's actually gone through. Then, as soon as he was done with that, it only took a few days, like a week before he was back home. But then he had a few more checkups, and it became clear that there were some complications from it. And he developed an aortic stenosis, and that's just a narrowing behind the valve and a narrowing of the aortic valve, which is the most important valve in your heart. Now, he's since then, he's gone through 3 open heart surgeries and some smaller procedures to try to correct this. And as of yet, he hasn't been able to correct it. His last surgery was when he was 4 years old. He was supposed to be starting school for his very first time. And instead, he was in hospital with his 4th open heart surgery. Within a few hours, we found out that the surgery didn't work, and that the next surgery he needs is a very, very complicated surgery. And that requires 2 valve transplants. His pulmonary valve moved to his aortic valve, and then his pulmonary valve will get a donor valve into it, unless he can get to an adolescent stage, where then he only needs 1 valve replacement, and then he can have a mechanical valve fitted for his aortic valve. But at the moment, he's too small. His story is like countless tens of thousands just in this area. If you don't know, congenital heart conditions is one of the biggest challenges that faces the hospitals at the moment. We are lucky. I've been in the hospitals, I've stayed there for months, and I just watched how lucky. I mean, you might be thinking, oh my God, he's been through 4 surgeries, he's going to need countless other ones afterwards. But he's one of the lucky ones. He got through, and that's because people like you come to support. I mean, you might not have come just to support the surgery, but you are here and you are supporting it. So each and every one of you is now part of my son's life, and you're part of his future. And I wanted to say thank you. And I wanted to say a big thank you to Ben for taking on this challenge, because it's just absolutely amazing that he's raised, I don't know how much he's raised so far, but you think 5,000?
I think if we get the bids and I get the money from the bids, from the auction, we will definitely go through 5,000.
Yeah. It's looking really close at the moment. With that money, it pays for all sorts of things. So what you're paying for is you're helping to pay for beds that are in the hospital, the important equipment, so the electrocardiograms, the ones that do an echo to see, an ultrasound to see what the heart looks like. You're also helping everybody from fetuses, so not yet born, all the way up throughout their adulthood. So until they die, they still have to go through the same unit. At the moment, Leeds is trying to put in a new theatre, which is going to be one of the best in the country. And you also help to support little things like having Wi-Fi on the ward, which if you've been stuck in a hospital for a month in one room, which I have, I'll tell you, it's not fun not being able to connect to the outside world, and having Wi-Fi there is like a godsend, and especially with kids. You also pay for iPads for the kids, and then you can pay for things like my son is taking his he's had to seek professional help, you know, just because he's too stressed because of all the operations, and so he's developed paranoias to things like plasters, doctors, and everything like that. So he gets all that help and support from the unit from many different sources, and without them, you know, he can't just little things in life he can't get through. So you guys have done such a fantastic job. And then also thank you to Ben's parents for donating a lot of the whiskies that will be on there and throughout the challenge. And thank you very much.
We kind of joked after about 9 months after Kyrie started school. In fact, before Kyrie started school, we'd always joked about how we want her to marry some blue-eyed blonde American kid so that she could move to America and then she could take us to America with her. And Vaughn is a blue-eyed, blonde-haired kid with an American mother, and the two of them get on like a house on fire. They're absolutely just fantastic, the pair of them. And yeah. They have their ups and downs, and they don't play together, and then all of a sudden, yeah, they're getting married. So, so you're all invited to the wedding next week, apparently. But yeah, he's an amazing kid, and to look at him, honestly, to look at him, you wouldn't know. I had no idea about the tribulations that he'd gone through. Not a clue. I knew he had some issues, and I went to Rebecca to say, you know, if you were going to pick a charity, who would it be for? Because I was wanting to do this charity and I didn't really know what to do, what charity, anything like that. We didn't have anything personal. And she said straight away, the Children's Heart Surgery Fund. And then she sent me an email with everything that he'd gone through. And it was like, Jesus, how is this possible? So I couldn't think of a better charity to raise money for. I honestly didn't think I would get anywhere near the £5 grand. It was a total finger in the air when I set up the Just Giving page. 50 quid would have been good. I didn't even know if I'd get anywhere near the challenge, and yet I'm here now in front of you, slightly out of my mind, with a view of looking at some of the bits that we've got on site in autumn, what we could potentially do and get through that £5,000 that is so vitally important. So all of you, give yourselves a round of applause, because it is absolutely incredible. Please give yourselves a round of applause. It's really, really appreciated. I cannot believe the amount of people that are here that have made, some of you making the journey to get here. It's, yeah, it's really humbling, really humbling. So, shall we do the last one? Yeah? Okay. Are we, right, I'll play a song while I'll play a song.